So this is my studio. I guess I'll go all the way around as a little tour here. We have all my shelves for the greenware and bisque work, mostly for wood firing. I can fill, 2 of those shelves up per wood firing, and that gives me a good judge on how much work I have. Collection of little stuff, the teas and food items. We got my little shelves, big bats. Underneath is my foam, my larger press mold stuff, all the regular tools and things, Dremel tools, drills, saws, all that kind of jazz. Non-clay parts, all my metal making stuff, my wood parts, all the little lamp things are up there. Glazes, underglazes, glues, fluids, my little molds. So all the little press molds that I make are in little drawers. Brush making stuff, other tool making stuff, all my little squirt bottles. Or squirt bottles. Other tools, so those are all the hand building tools, right next to the table. Then there are the throwing tools, extra tools for students and such. Bat collection, Cone 6 clay, the books in disarray, of course. And then, it's hard to get a good shot of this. This is my damp box. So it's empty now, ready for a new year throwing stuff. But adjustable shelves for different height pots. And it's double-sided, it's all sealed with weather stripping. And all the little boards that I have for my wear boards, which are next to the wheel over here, fit in those shelves. So as they go in wet, they go on a small board, and as they dry, they go on big boards. One side I usually have my wetter stuff, and the final drying goes on the other side, so it's slow and controlled. And we have the bigger tools, the little caulk guns and all that jazz. The wear boards, and my wheel. That's the Franken Soldner. There have been other videos about it, but it's pretty much the 1/4 horsepower Soldner that I've remade the deck for to be wider and a little more the way I like to use it, and the same foot pedal and all that. And I guess they didn't make a real splash pan for it, so it's got a Brent splash pan. Hence the Franken Soldner. And then we have all my damp boxes, my little magic boxes and stuff. Like this one are pest or students' work that have dried out. We put them in with a little bit of plaster, and it brings them back to a trimmable consistency. The other ones that I have down here are filled with parts. I'll pull this one out if I can lift it up one-handed here. Have parts that have been made, weeks ago, months ago. Sometimes some of the parts in here are years old that are still soft enough to use. And, when it's the right time to use them, they're ready to go. So when I make a piece, I don't throw it away. I save them in one of these bins, so the next time I'm using that kind of clay and I'm making work, I've got a bigger selection without having to remake everything every time. I'll make a little video on making these, not a big deal. More little pots. Then outside is our big studio. So that's my little cubby hole. And I guess I'll just go around the studio here. So those are my outside shelves, examples for students and stuff. We have our glaze test tile thing, so it's every glaze that we have with every other glaze over it and under it on 2 different kinds of clay. More example pots. We have our glaze table. So these are our studio glazes, all made in-house. They all work well together, and we have a variety. Underneath we have all of our raku glazes for when we do raku firings, and then underneath the other glaze table is all of our wood fire glazes. We have our primary wheel throwing area. We have about 75 students here during a session. And this is where the teaching happens on this side. I'll show you the other wheel area in a bit. Where we keep our wear boards and everything. The studio stereo, of course. And over here is more of the hand building area. So we have all of those shelves, all those shelves back there, and over there are the student shelves. Each student gets a chunk of shelf space, and when they outgrow that, they can either take some space at the bottom or the top. We have 5 workspace tables. They're all 3/4 inch plywood. There's 3 low ones, 2 tall ones. We have, plaster slump mold and hump molds. And more student shelves. And then back here is our extruder and all of the extruder dies. And we have a lot of people that make their own dies with credit cards and stuff that go through there. We have our slab roller. Over here is Wes's area. You guys will meet Wes in a bit. He doesn't know that yet, but we're going to have him do some videos too, I think. And then more student shelves. This is our secondary wheel throwing area. So if there's a class going on and students come in, that there are 6 wheels that they can use. And this has so far been enough to cover everybody that's come in and needed to use a wheel. More student shelves. We have our bisque and our glaze shelves. We're pretty empty right now because it's the beginning of the year. We just cleaned everything out, and the next session of classes start next week. We've got 3 kilns right now. We just ordered another one that'll be coming in soon. It's a E-Quad Pro or something. I don't know. They're pretty excited about it. This is our main workhorse. L&L Da Vinci. I think we have about 200 firings on it. See how nice it looks. And then we have the L&L Easy Fire here, and he's been around for, I don't know, 6-7 years. He has seen a lot of pots. And we got our little test kiln. This is our, glaze test. If somebody comes in with a problem with a glaze, that we can, within a couple hours, fire it off and get an idea of what's going on. If it's, they're firing, if it's how they mixed up the glaze. Then we have our shelves for, back up here a little bit. These are our shelves for work to get bisqued and work to get glazed. And that's pretty much our, oh, and we got sinks, of course. Yep, that's our studio. This is the warehouse. I know, awfully exciting, right? We have all of the in-house glazes we mix in here, bagged up, ready to get shipped. This is the heavy shipping area here. And all the clay that we store in stock. We carry mostly standard and Laguna, and we do bring in other clays if people have specific needs. More clay and glaze stuff. More shipping area. We're one of the bigger distributors of Laguna products in the Northeast. There's our glaze mixing area. Ooh, all those bags. Kiln shelf area. And then back here will be our dirty area. So we'll have our spray booth set up back here because it's going to be loud and it's going to be out of the way. We'll have our compressors, our welders, and all that stuff back here when we finally get our spray booth hooked up. Our studio glaze mixing area, that's, so that we're not in our studio mixing glazes, we're far away. We've got, it vented. This is where our studio actually used to be before we moved over to the other area. That's the warehouse. And this is our gallery. It's kind of in the post-Christmas takedown and setup for the next show. But all the work right now in here is from people that are associated with Clayscapes, whether they're students, faculty people in the office, or members of the IPA. Like that's a piece of Peter Valente's back there. Yeah, so that's our gallery. And that is the studio puppy. Yes, it's Abby. Hi, Abby. Abby's, I don't know, a few months old, 43 pounds of dog. And then back here is the store and office. This is where we keep the glazes and everything. That's Drew, when you call, that's Andrew. And Meg is hiding. Meg is hiding, but she's back there somewhere. That's where Meg normally would sit.
Did you call me abnormal?
I did not call you abnormal. And that's Don.
Oh, hey.
And back there is Kim's office, but Kim's not here right now. And that's Clayscapes.